She laughed while looking straight into his eyes, and something inside him went completely still. Not angry, not broken, just still. It's cute how jealous you get when I see my ex. Her voice carried a softness that didn't match her words. You're not husband material. She paused, almost smiling. Just someone I'm passing time with. Ethan Caldwell didn't respond right away. He didn't defend himself. He didn't argue. He just looked at her like he was trying to understand if she meant it or if she had finally decided to stop pretending. They were sitting at a private rooftop restaurant in downtown Chicago. The kind of place where the lighting is dim, the music is slow, and every table feels like a stage for people pretending their lives are perfect. Across from him sat Olivia Harper. Impeccable posture, flawless presentation. The kind of woman who didn't raise her voice because she never had to. Ethan had met her a year ago at a fundraising gala. She was everything people noticed. He was everything people trusted. At least, that's what he believed. I thought we were building something real. He said quietly, not as a question, not even as an accusation. Olivia tilted her head slightly. You were. The way she said it made it worse. Past tense. Controlled. As if she had already moved on while still sitting in front of him. You just didn't realize it wasn't permanent. Ethan felt something tighten in his chest. Not heartbreak. Something closer to clarity. Does he know? He asked. Olivia didn't even hesitate. Know what? That you still see him. She smiled. Not defensive. Not guilty. Just amused. Ethan, I don't need to explain my past to someone who isn't part of my future. That sentence landed harder than anything else she had said. For a moment, Ethan looked down at the table. At the wine glass he hadn't touched. At the reflection of a man who had spent months adjusting himself to fit into someone else's expectations. And suddenly he saw it. Not her. Himself. Before we go further, tell me this honestly. If you were sitting in Ethan's place right now, would you walk away quietly, or would you fight to be chosen? Because Ethan had spent the last year doing exactly that. He had adjusted his schedule around hers. He had attended events he didn't care about. He had learned to read her moods like a language he never fully understood. Not because she asked, because he believed that's what commitment looked like. But sitting there, hearing her words without any attempt to soften them, something shifted. You're right, he finally said. Olivia raised an eyebrow. Amused again. I know. Ethan shook his head slightly. No. He looked at her directly now. Not searching. Not hoping. You're right about one thing. There was a pause. The kind that makes people uncomfortable because they don't know what's coming next. I'm not your future. For the first time, Olivia's expression changed. Not dramatically. Just enough to notice. Ethan stood up slowly. No ruse. No anger. I think I've been confusing effort with value. Olivia let out a small laugh. Ethan, don't be dramatic. But he wasn't listening anymore. Because in that moment, the power dynamic between them shifted. Not because he said something clever, but because he stopped needing her to say anything at all. He placed his card on the table, covered the bill without looking at the amount. I hope he's everything you think he is. He said it calmly, and then he left. No scene, no final glance, just a decision. The elevator ride down felt longer than usual, not because of regret, because of realization. He had spent months trying to prove he was enough for someone who had already decided he wasn't. And that wasn't love. That was negotiation. The next few days were quiet. Not peaceful, just quiet. Olivia didn't call. He didn't expect her to. But what he didn't expect was how quickly his life began to reorganize itself without her in it. His mornings felt different, less rushed. His decisions felt clearer, less influenced. And for the first time in a long time, he started noticing things he had ignored. Like how often he had silenced his own opinions. How often he had chosen comfort over truth. A week later, his phone lit up. Olivia Harper. He stared at the screen for a moment. Not surprised, just curious. He let it ring twice before answering. E. Her voice was softer this time. E. There was a pause. I think we need to talk. Ethan leaned back in his chair. Not defensive. Not eager. What changed? Another pause. Longer this time. I didn't expect you to leave like that. He almost smiled. Neither did I. Olivia exhaled. I might have been unfair. That word. Might. It said everything. I don't think this is about fairness. Ethan replied. Then what is it about? He thought about it for a second. It's about alignment. Silence. We don't want the same things. Olivia's voice sharpened slightly. You're just going to walk away from everything we had? Ethan didn't answer immediately, because for the first time, he wasn't trying to say the right thing. He was trying to say the honest one. We didn't have the same thing. That landed. You had options. He continued. I had expectations. Another silence. He could almost hear her thinking. Before we continue, what would you do here? Would you give her another chance, or trust the version of her that showed up when it mattered most? Because Ethan knew this moment wasn't about her words now. It was about her actions then. I can change, Olivia said quietly. Ethan closed his eyes for a second. Not because he believed her, because he understood her. People don't say that when they're ready. They say it when they're losing control. I believe you can, he said calmly. And then he added, but I don't think you will for me. That was the truth neither of them wanted to say out loud. Olivia didn't argue this time, because somewhere deep down, she knew it too. Take care of yourself, Ethan. You too. The call ended without drama, without closure, but with something more important. Clarity. Months later, Ethan found himself at another event. Different venue. Same kind of crowd. But this time, he wasn't adjusting himself to fit into it. He was just there, present. And when someone asked him about relationships, he didn't talk about what he had lost. He talked about what he had learned. That attention is not commitment. That proximity is not loyalty. And that being chosen by someone else means nothing if you're not choosing yourself. He never saw Olivia again. Not because she disappeared, but because he stopped looking. And sometimes, that's the difference between being valued and being available.